I
think we're live.
Oh, I think we are.
Hey. That was better than last time.
No hiccups this time. What up?
How is everybody? We hope you're having a good Saturday night. We're back. Your favourite strongman couple?
Oh, hopefully.
Or one of them, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hope everyone's well. We've been training today, haven't we?
We have been training today. Oh, God, I just realised I look naked. I am dressed. My hair was covering my clothes. But yeah, we've been working hard today. And we came back because we had so many nice messages, didn't we? Oh, please make it more of a regular thing. So, you know, we're braving it again after last time. We didn't do too bad last time, other than
I said some stupid stuff, but that's probably going to happen again tonight.
Yeah, so. Me too. It's fine. It's in our nature, isn't it? No one's perfect. Hello, everyone.
How are you guys doing?
Hey. We've got the laptop a little bit closer, so we're not squinting at you this time either. Oh, if you could pick some. So we're going to go through... we're going to talk about the proposed Strongman calendar for 2021, aren't we?
We've been having a look at the calendar just to see what we've been looking forward to, what we think will hopefully happen this year. Obviously, we do have for sure now that we're going to Bahrain, or 2 weeks' time, actually. It's the competition 2 weeks today.
Yeah, it is.
So we're very, very excited about that.
Yes.
There's a few loopholes to go through in terms of...
Like getting out of the country is going to be a proper mission, but hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Just waiting on WUS to send flights, actually.
Yes.
So I believe part of the group chat, they're just organising all the flights now for the athletes and should be with us this weekend. So
lovely.
We'll know more about that.
That's exciting.
And then once we're out there, it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Just nice to see all the guys, see some live strongman.
Yeah, it will be great. No, I'm really looking forward to it. And obviously, we're going to be keeping you guys up to date with what's going on. Loads and loads of videos will be coming out. You're probably going to get sick and unsubscribe. But we're trying to show you the fun stuff.
Yeah, as long as you're interested in the... Well, Liz keeps it fun. You're more fun than me.
Oh, yeah. And then after WUS, we've then got Europe... Yeah, Europe's is due on the 3rd of April. Now, this is where it gets a little bit like we really want it to be able to happen in the way that we're used to. Obviously, we usually...
I've not spoken to Colin yet, so I don't... Look, Europe's is not happening on the 3rd of April.
Or it's not happening in an arena.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going to happen on the 3rd. I mean, I might be wrong, but I just can't see that. I think they would like... Now with some better news coming out and arenas soon to be able to be used again, or certainly outdoor venues, I believe, are going to be allowed to be used and indoor to a certain capacity.
Yeah,
I think this year we're going to have some live events in the UK. I really do. I know
hopefully just postponed rather than cancelled.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get a chat with Colin at some point and we'll find out what's going on. I know the UK's Strongest Man, because that's an outdoors event, are planning on going ahead. So it looks like we're going to get some good live shows to go to. And I don't know about these guys, but I've definitely missed it.
Oh, God, yeah. So then after that, Britain's Strongest Man, that's going to be the same story. 24th of April, that's due in Sheffield. Then WUS, Abu Dhabi, late spring. Now, that's not confirmed, is it? Don mentioned that the last time he was on the channel.
They've
3 planned events this year.
That's what they've got planned. They can't confirm anything yet.
No, the way things are.
We'll focus on Bahrain.
Yes.
And then see what happens with the rest. Obviously, World's Strongest Man announced the dates very early this year for them to announce dates. 15th to the 20th of June in Sacramento. So that's going to be interesting because California is apparently like one of the most locked down states right now. I know, looking at the comments from people, they were like, oh, don't do it in California.
In Sacramento. And apparently they've signed a 3-year contract to be there as well. So
yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Nothing
Getting a load of questions coming through.
Go on, then. Answer a couple of questions. Uncle Loz for 502.
What are we talking? 502
pounds.
Calories per meal. Hey guys, how you doing?
I still can't read it from here. Do either of you speak Welsh? No, we definitely don't. We barely.
You can do a good Welsh accent.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it though. It's very offensive. Do you think that the size Tom Stoltman has gained will affect his loading events, as he's consistently been one of the best? I reckon Tom's going to do just fine on loading. Like, We frequently
he is looking massive.
He does look massive. I saw a picture of him and Luke. They both look massive. They're like they've been pumped up with air or something. Like, they're massive.
I know. I used to be bigger than those boys. They're getting bigger and bigger.
Excited to see how they're going to perform in Bahrain. Definitely.
Both looking strong at the moment.
Yeah. And Tom's still so young. I reckon he's still going to be really quick.
Well, Thor got really big and could still move.
He was still fast.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It's too early to say. I mean,
we'll let you know.
Tom has the frame to still move at such a big weight because he's so tall and got long levers and stuff. I think he'll still move just absolutely fine. And the extra power, he's going to be a scary prospect this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Have I ever done a talk with Riku Kiri? Unfortunately not. I'd love to talk to Riku Kiri. As far as I understand, he doesn't really speak much English. He's not really on social media either, so it's been difficult to get hold of. There's certain guys out there that I'd love to talk to. I've got some exciting potential lined up talking strongman with some older guys.
Yeah, like some really old, not like really old men, but like
some of the
proper classics from the original World's Strongest Man. Yeah.
So that's exciting, but we're dealing with some of the older generation.
You're very offensive.
And I'm not offensive.
Like, what Zoom?
Yes. Mark Felix was bad enough, but
yes, we helped Mark out. Someone asked if you're going to be at the competition that's going to be held just before the Eddie and Thor fight.
Yes. As long as everything goes ahead in Vegas, we will be out there. Hopefully
September it's due. I don't think we have a confirmed date yet because obviously Giants Live have an event in September in Edinburgh as well. Is it Edinburgh?
Yeah, their World Tour Finals this year is in Edinburgh.
Yeah, so hopefully
it's going to be an interesting. This is one of the issues with Strongman because there's so many different promoters. No one's working together in terms of a schedule sometimes.
Apparently, we're out of focus and giving everyone a headache.
Oh,
get in focus, Lozzie.
You're the one that's out of focus.
Spin the thing.
I think you should touch it. My hand. You know what happens when I touch.
I nearly took the mic down.
There we go.
Is that better?
It was you that was out of focus. That's better.
Yeah.
Well done.
Is Loz ticklish?
Get off. Not as ticklish.
Yeah, I'm really ticklish. I should have done that.
She's very ticklish.
Oh, I can't even. Just the thought of it freaks me out. I hate it. Don't do it. Good evening from Germany, Los and Liz. I really like the Fingal Fingers for the mystery event in Bahrain. What do you guys think? Yeah, it'd be nice to see Fingals. We haven't seen them for quite a few years.
I can't remember the last time I saw them.
We saw the Norse Hammer in 2015. We haven't seen Fingals since then. And I think it was a few years before that we saw them at Worlds. Because historically, it's usually only seen at World's Strongest Man. I know in some of the really old Super Series events.
I've seen it at other shows. I have seen it because I've been at competitions and done it, even lower level comps. I've seen, but yeah, it's a great event, and it's not been.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I've seen events where it's done before, and it is a cool event. It's just Strongman tends to go in cycles of events.
Yeah,
it's real. Like you'll notice that it goes through like these different cycles where certain events become really popular for a short period of time. Couple of years, and then it sort of goes to something else, and then it eventually comes back. I'm sure we will see Fingals again turning up.
Someone's asked your top 3 in Bahrain. So we did a video about this recently, didn't we? But
yeah,
your top 3 was Alexei, then Tom, then Janasha.
I think we're going to see. We haven't. Yeah, I think Janasha's going to be in shape.
Janasha, that'd be great. My top 3 was Tom, then Alexei, then Adam Bishop. So
you were kind of tossing up between Shivlikov and then went for Adam in the end. Didn't you?
Just because I thought even like
it's good events for Adam. It is honestly really good events for Adam. He's a great all-round athlete. He's preparing well.
Yeah,
I think he'll be good.
Thoughts about Brian Shaw? What do you think of Brian? Well, we've got a big Brian painting behind us, so we're clearly huge fan.
I just did a talking strongman with Brian. If you've not seen that, make sure you go and check it out.
Yeah.
Brian is without question one of the best strongmen of all time. And if I pick my favorite as Zadrunas. Zadrunas is like my best of all time. But if someone said to me Brian's the best, and I'd understand the argument. They're two of the absolute greatest of all time. I had a great chat with him the other day, and I told him that I think he's past his best, which is just, it's not, I think I'm past my best. It's not rudeness. It's my opinion in terms of competing against him. I remember, I've competed against him at his best.
Yeah, of course.
Unbelievable athlete. That's not to say he's not still an incredible athlete. You know, he is. I believe I could still be good, but can I be the best I've ever been on that consistent basis?
Yeah,
I don't know anymore. And I just think Brian's a little bit past his best. Still bloody dangerous. You know, don't get me wrong. Still, you know, one of the best strongmen on the planet, could still win any competition on his day. But yes, as you get older, you get other distractions. You've got family, you've got businesses, you've got injuries to contend with. And it's just my opinion, but we had a good chat about it. And, you know, if he's happy to keep pushing and he believes that he can still win World's Strongest Man, who the hell am I to tell him not?
Well, exactly.
It's just one man's opinion.
Someone asked, what do you think Zydrunas could have log pressed had he like concentrated on it?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually had this question with, I was talking to Titus Lalas about this the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And I certainly believe that Zydrunas focused solely on a log lift competition would have been capable of 240 in his prime.
Yeah. No,
I really believe we could have seen those kind of numbers from Zydrunas. He never, ever just trained for the log. No. It was always training to win a...
That's still quite a new thing, isn't it? And it kind of started with Giants Live, having like the World Deadlift Championships and all of that. And records have become a lot more important to the athletes.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk to the athletes now, the younger athletes all want the records.
Yeah.
The older athletes tend to rather win contests. You know, like I had this conversation with Brian actually when he was on, and both of us sort of feel winning titles is a bit more important. But I totally understand why people want the records as well. And you know, the recognition that comes now with world records is so much better than early on in our day.
Thank you for the super chat, Michael. What's it say? Kaz is the best of all time. Don't believe me? Ask Kaz.
Kaz is the greatest of all time, especially if you ask Kaz.
We did a video about Kaz recently, didn't we? And he really was an incredible athlete.
He was.
Like,
yeah.
You know, and obviously we were robbed of a few Kaz prime years, so it's incredible to think what he could have done. One, if he'd consistently competed at Worlds throughout that sort of banning period, but also two, if he had anyone even close to his level to really push him, because you know he often only did what he needed to do to win. I mean, in a max deadlift competition, who goes out and pulls 2 reps? It's just ridiculous. So,
he did actually do that.
He did do that, yeah, he did.
He was just ahead of the game back then.
Yeah.
You know?
Ahead of his time.
It's always tough when you could compare greats from different eras because they're always at their best at different times.
Yeah.
You know, you got to make one of those computer games where you can have like the best guys from their eras and then put them all in together. That would be cool.
There used to be a Strongman computer game. It was like a Jeff Capes game, like an old.
There was a little one. Have you seen it? I played a little one that I could play as me, and you have to like press the buttons, and it would do like certain lifts. It was just like a little app.
Thank you
very much.
Leo, could you talk about your relationship with Aaron Page and a bit about him? Love the good video that you guys made.
Oh, Aaron was, you know, just Aaron was a complete misfit. Like a lot of people in the sport,
get into Strongman,
there's so many of us that sort of suffer with depression, or we kind of feel like we're a bit of an outsider in terms of normality and stuff like that. But Aaron was one of those guys, you looked at him and you think, God, this is a scary dude. He's got tattoos all over him. He's kind of got the big beard, you know, big, huge guy. But he was just a teddy bear.
Yeah, and very gentle. And
genuinely, once you were friends with him, he's just a guy that would just help anyone out. He was just such a good person, a great strongman. You know, he gave his all to Strongman. And, you know, it's such a shame what happened because I think he was just getting into his best years. And we're going to, you know, he was literally invited to World's Strongest Man just before.
Yeah, and he couldn't go because his passport had it expired, and because of everything that was going on, he couldn't get an emergency passport like we would usually be able to.
He's going to be massively missed in the sports by so many people. He was just genuinely, you know, he's one of those people who'd compete against you, but my God, he'd support you as well.
Oh, well, I remember that Britain's Strongest Man. He was just up there with you the whole way because you guys had trained in preparation for that competition together, hadn't you? Yeah. And he was just there by your side the whole way,
we drove
cheering
up together.
you on.
We were sort of like in the backstage together.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, such a
sad
devastating, for the sport.
Liz, have you always been a Strongman fan, or was it Loz's influence? It is totally Loz's influence. I remember vaguely watching Strongman at Christmas time with my parents, and I remember like seeing the deadlift and the guys bleeding from the nose and thinking, oh my God, that's gross. And never envisioning that I might marry one.
You don't like it when I bleed from the nose, though?
You don't bleed from the nose. I've never seen you bleed in a competition. Never. No, never. But you've got pretty decent blood pressure. But no, all of this strongman knowledge that I have accumulated is because when we first got together, Loz forced me to watch every single World's Strongest Man heat Sam finals.
Rachel, thank you for the super chat. The Strongman show is something that we are looking at bringing back. Unfortunately, Marcus is very busy, had a few issues going on, but we're looking at possibly bringing it back with another host. So not Liz, but someone I've done a recent chat with recently who is just an amazingly infectious, excited, super strongman fan.
Yeah.
Dale McPherson and myself are talking about bringing it back together. So hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll be able
have
to
it back on the schedule.
Even if to start with, especially with the way things are at the moment, where there's not as much happening, maybe like a once a month or once every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But eventually, once things are up and running, we'd like to do it as a weekly show.
Yeah. Thank you, Coops. Hello, Liz and Lars.
Hiya, Coops. Coops is awesome. He's supported us.
Coops is always it. I remember Coops. My son was doing a sponsored run and he sponsored him to say a ridiculous amount of money as well. I think he raised half of the school target because my son, he went to a tiny school, didn't he? And like Coops sponsored half of the whole school target. And Lewis was like the hero. Yeah, they were all.
But that was thanks to Coops.
Thank you, Coops.
So, thank you, buddy. We appreciate that.
Someone asked, "Who's is your wife strong?"
What, Liz?
Yeah.
Mentally strong. Mentally strong. She has to be strong. Wow, thank you so much for the super chat or sticker, I guess it is.
Super sticker, go, yay.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Amisto, cool name.
How do you pronounce your surname? Oh, go on, you do this.
Go on, Liz.
No, do you know what? Leading up to our wedding day, I was so stressed out just about the prospect of having to pronounce the name on the altar.
Bear in mind, her old name was Mason.
Mason. How nice and simple is that? So it's Shahlaei.
It's, Laurence Shahlaei.
Shahlaei. So there's a in the middle, and it kind of ends like a lai, but you have to say it really quickly. Your mum does it best. Laurence Shahlaei. No, that was shit.
But you guys just call me Uncle Loz. It's easier.
Is fine. Oh God, look at these coming through.
Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. We appreciate it.
Like, we're always just surprised that anyone
Lewis,
even joins us. It's kind to give. Plus, Lewis is a legend. Thank you. Lewis is a legend.
Victor E. Do you think Brian can win World's Strongest Man this year? He's doing a transformation now, looking in great shape, 385 pounds. Brian is looking fantastic. And yes, he's got as good a chance as anyone else at winning. That's what I'd say right now. It's very early in the year to pick a winner for World's Strongest Man. So much can happen in Strongman, and we haven't obviously seen any contests this year so far.
And it's totally event dependent as well. Like, how tough a battle does he have getting into the final? Because, he didn't have an easy group this year. Not that there are easy groups at Worlds, but Group 5 was particularly stacked. Hold on, we're losing things. Here we go. Yeah,
I think Brian's got a great chance, but likewise, so is Tom Stoltman, so is Alexei Novikov. We could have the return of Kiliashkovsky, of Lissis, and a whole host of other hungry young athletes that are, getting better and better. And you've still got, JF Caron, Jerry Pritchett looking the best he's ever looked last year and knocking on 40. So there's just so
Jerry
many.
is 40.
Well, there you go. There's just so many great athletes. You never know. I might make a comeback myself and just, I don't know.
Mike, thank you, Mike. I've been watching Big Tom Stoltman struggling to breathe in his videos. What do you guys think? So that's not uncommon with strong.
No, I mean he's massive at the moment, and in terms of long-term health, it's probably not the best for him right now. But
he's working with Nathan, isn't it? Nathan Payton.
Yeah, same nutritionist that works with Brian Shaw.
That guy has a lot of World's Strongest Man titles under his belt. I'm sure it's part of a greater plan where maybe he'll cut right back at some point. I trust him enough to trust the process. It's hard.
It's very hard for a normal person to understand the mentality of a professional athlete. Tom's sole focus
might not be normal.
Tom's sole focus is to be the best strongman in the world.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about right now. And he's willing to do whatever it takes. If he feels he needs to get like Eddie did, he got his body weight up to such a huge amount. I think, he will come to that point where he focuses more on all-round health and stuff like that. It's like I'm at that point where winning titles isn't as important to me anymore. you know, 3 kids to look after and provide for, a wife that wants to see me be fit and healthy.
I thought you were going to say likes to spend money.
Well, she does like to do that as well. But, you know, you get to that point in your life where there's more important things than just winning titles. As much as I'd still love to be a great competitive athlete, I'm happier that, you know, I've looked back on my career. I'm satisfied that I did pretty well.
Yeah, you did okay.
I would obviously have liked to have done better. I think that's just normal. And I still want to lift. I still want to do things, but more as an all-round athlete now than just sole focus. Tom's in that stage where he just wants to be the best he can be.
Mike said he is normal. And thank you, Anticipated. Thank you for the awesome strength content. Will there ever be an arm over arm events like rows with rope? Yeah,
there's been plenty of arm over arms in Strongman. Yeah,
we saw one at UK's every year with a truck. That was a disaster though, because it had been absolutely chucking it down with rain.
I don't want to talk about it.
And the rope was saturated. Lost had to go last.
Had to go last, and this
the
rope was
wettest it had ever been.
Soaked.
It was
I went from first place in the competition to ending up. Well, it cost me winning the competition. I wasn't happy.
Off in a huff. Who's that? Guard 0000. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you very much. You guys have been amazing tonight. I can't believe it. That's just incredible. We got another super chat.
Can you read that? My poor eyes.
Forza UBS.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
When you did yoke events, you were on another level to other events. What was that? More your physique or mental confidence to go all out?
One funny thing with any event is people will tell you that confidence is important. Confidence is massively important in every event. I had this conversation with Graham Hicks. He's like, the important thing with log is confidence. I was like, you get confidence on every event. The reason he's confident on the log is because he's good at it.
Yeah.
Technically, he's very good at it.
Yeah.
He's built well for it. Mm-hmm. And most of us, when we are really good at a certain event, are built well for that type of event. Yeah. I have worked hard to become very, very good at the yoke, but I was pretty good to start with. Mm-hmm. You know, I first time I ever tried, I picked up 700 pounds, 320 kilos, picked it up and ran with it. Now, one thing that made me really good at the yoke was that I looked at it as an event and how I thought I needed to be good for competition. I didn't need to be able to pick up 700 kilos or just the heaviest weight I could. I needed to look at the weights that we'd be using in competition, and then I decided to try and get quicker and quicker. So I've always worked on speed, occasionally working on heavier weights, but I try not to kill myself in the gym on the yoke because it's such a heavy movement.
Yeah,
it can destroy you if you do it too heavy too often. So I always worked on foot speed to be as quick as possible, and then the gym strength, squatting, deadlifting, etc., would make sure I had the power to lift the implements. But it worked well.
A few quicker, shorter answers from you. What number captain of Crush have you closed?
I've closed number 3.
Okay.
So number 3, captain of Crush, I've closed. I've got the number 3.5 pretty close to closing when I was training a lot.
0.5s.
Yeah, they used to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, sorry, 4. And then they did the one
in between increments as well. Who's stronger, Gav Bilton or Adam Bishop?
Oh, Adam Bishop is a better strongman right now.
Gav's newer, isn't he?
Gav's on the rise, but you know, Adam right now is world class.
Yeah.
Like Gavin has the potential to be world class, and he's improving fast. But I wouldn't put him on Adam's level just yet.
No, I agree. Oh yeah, so we've answered that one. Martin's list seems to have fallen away. Martin's has been rehabbing some injuries.
Yeah, Martin's is just coming back from injuries.
He's got like stem cell treatment or something.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, so that'd be interesting
the thing with Martin's that's quite. You watch his training and you think, he's nothing. Martin's is very, very smart, and he knows how to peak when he needs to.
Yeah.
So if Martin says he's going to turn up to World's Strongest Man, expect him to turn up in good shape.
Yeah.
Don't expect him to be giving, you know, I like the way he trains because he's not trying to just show off in the gym.
No.
He will make sure
sort of underplays it almost, doesn't he?
He's just building up, and he's very good at peaking. Whereas some guys, they're trying to just lift massive weights in the gym all the time. Martin's turns up in shape when he needs
for the gram. How are y'all doing? We're doing all right, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've had some good news in the UK. Like, we've got this sort of roadmap out of lockdown, which hopefully will happen. We've been locked down since shortly after Christmas. So literally, for those who don't know, all we can do right now is go out to exercise, go out to medical appointments, for food shopping. Is that it? That's pretty much it.
Pretty much.
Or to work if you cannot work from home.
Yeah.
So no non-essential leaving the house. But all things considered, we're doing okay, aren't we?
Yeah,
I haven't driven him completely mad.
No, we try to stay quite upbeat, don't we?
Yeah.
We do try not to let the things that we can't control affect us too much.
Yeah, definitely.
Why is the world's strongest woman?
I
think we're talking about the TV show that was like the same as World's Strongest Man. I don't know the answer. I'm going to guess something to do with money. And it's normally the case. But World's Strongest Woman does still go ahead. Right now, it's part of the official Strongman Games. Last year's winner was Donna Moore from the UK. She's a 3-times winner. And it's supposed to be going ahead 12th to the 14th of November this year over in Florida. So
who do you think has the best shot of breaking the deadlift world record? I think it's just sort of slipped up.
There's the 500 kilo deadlift that Eddie did really took it to another level. And I think people almost just think anyone can deadlift 500 kilos.
I don't think.
Only 2 men out of 7 billion in the world, or 7 billion people, 2 men have managed to pull 500 kilos from the floor, from a standard height. It's such an incredible number. There's a couple of guys getting close, but I still don't think we'll see anyone pull it for about a year or two, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Hey, Dandon, please shout out Jess in Liverpool. We're big fans. Hello, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
And Dandon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Is that you, Dan? Which strongman is the best?
I was I was actually, one of my clients was training today with Rongo Keane from Australia.
The question first, for those that don't know it, which strongman is the best hype man and why is it Luke Stoltman? Luke Stoltman is good. He's an excellent hype man.
Honestly, I'd love to go train with Rongo.
Yeah.
Rongo Keane, for those that don't know, go and check him out on Instagram. Rongo is just so funny. He's just a happy-go-lucky guy, isn't he? But the way he hypes up people, no matter what they're lifting, he just gets people in the zone. I was watching this training video from one of my clients who trains with him. I was like, I want to go train with Rongo.
Even I might want to go and train with Rongo.
But yes, Luke is a great hype man, especially when Tom's lifting.
Yeah, Luke's got a great voice for hype as well, hasn't he?
Deep, kind of Scottish, manly voice.
Yeah, it's going to add a few kilos to any lift that you try and do, isn't it? Maybe even to mine.
Yeah, we should see if that works.
Yeah. Oh, look, the epic slime. Hello, stepfather. That's my son, Lewis. Hey, Lewis. What are you doing? Oh, I guess it's only 9:30. Yeah. You're allowed to be up.
He's not with us tonight, is he?
No, he's not. Check him watching this live. Luke is powerful. Luke is so we can't swear. Why do you? This one keeps popping up. Why do you not like Robert Oberst? Do you like Robert Oberst? Why do you discredit him as a serious competitor? He doesn't.
I don't believe I discredit.
You do your predictions and
I'm very honest. I think that's where people go wrong. I give you an honest prediction of where people will go. So I think Robert Oberst is good at certain events, but Robert Oberst has never won an international competition. I'm not saying I don't like Robert Oberst. I'm just stating facts.
Yeah.
And when you compare all round results, he's just not as good as some of the other guys. That's not to say he's not a great strongman. He's got some brilliant events that he's good at, and he could do very well.
Better than 99% of the world, but obviously,
I'm not gonna pick a Robert Oberst over an Alexei Novikov or over a Tom Stoltman or over a Luke Stoltman. These guys I think are better all-round athletes. Brian Shaw, JF Caron, Konstantin Janasha. These are guys that have won competitions. Go and look. There's a new website. What's the website called?
TheStrongmanArchives.com.
Yeah.
You should definitely
go and check out the Strongman Archives.
Awesome.
Have a look at past results. See where people place. Robert's a big, friendly, big bear. I think he's great for the sport. I think what he does is really good. I think the way he promotes himself is great.
Yeah.
I think the fans that he's brought into the sport are great. But he's just not as good as some of the other guys that compete. That's not me hating on Robert Oberst. That's me telling the truth. And if you don't believe me, just go and look at the results. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We do predictions based on past performance and not. No, go back up. Go back up. Hello, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Hey, Loz and Liz. I'm wondering about investing in a lifting belt for work. Any recommendations for brands to look at?
Well, I best suggest Cerberus. Cerberus do great belts. They've got like a softer deadlift belt. They have a leather buckle belt, which is my favorite. They have a lever belt, which is good for things like squatting, anything where I don't like the lever belt for anything I need to bend in. So if it's like a press from a rack or like a Viking press, I like them. For yokes, I like them. And I would also say SBD do some great belts. Their equipment's really good. But just to help me out, go to Cerberus. Use my code Warrior on Cerberus. You get 10% off.
There you go. Now we can go back down.
Can you bring Nathan Hall onto your channel? He's the strongest grip. Nathan Hall is someone I used to read about when I first got into. Sorry, I should finish the question, shouldn't I?
You get a bit ahead.
Can you bring Nathan Hall onto your channel? He has the strongest grip in the world and is from Wales. He closed the Captains of Crush number 4. Nathan, I read about
GHP level 10. Oh, Captain.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was like,
I know what I'm talking about.
I thought it was the Captain of Crush number 10. I was like, what?
No, it's grip talk. We'll just leave this to me.
Sorry.
Nathan Hall has an incredible grip.
I can grip.
And I used to read about him when I first got into kind of gripping and stuff like that. So that'd be interesting. I'd be up for a chat with him for sure.
For a nerdy grip chat.
No one else will watch. Maybe like 100 people. We'll have fun. I'd enjoy it.
You'd enjoy it.
The cat's here.
Aidan wants to know, as a 15-year-old, how to get into Strongman.
You're going to show everyone the cat?
This is Nala, the cat. She's a bit shy.
I'm surprised
she doesn't like you.
She doesn't like anyone.
She likes me.
She does like you. That's about it. What was the question? Sorry.
15-year-old Aidan, how can he get into Strongman?
Well, there's lots of gyms that cater for Strongman these days. Lots of people train in their own homes. There's so much information online to kind of make sure you're training properly. My advice to anyone new, regardless of age, is learn the basics first. Get good at kind of squatting, deadlifting, overhead pressing, bench pressing. I'd say if you can, and you've got someone that can teach you the Olympic lifts well, that's really beneficial. I don't focus on Olympic lifts because I'm not an Olympic lifting coach, and they are very, very highly skilled movements that you really need someone to teach you to do well if you're going to do them at a high level.
People are loving the cat. Sorry, Karen.
Everyone loves the cat.
You keep going. I'll try and bring it back.
But focus on the basics. Get good at certain movements that will then benefit you as you move forward. I would keep a bit of athleticism. Understand that Strongman isn't just about powerlifting. You need to be able to move well. You need good amount of mobility, amount of conditioning. So just be strong, be active, try and find people or a gym that cater for Strongman, have like-minded people around you, and just enjoy it. That's the key to getting good at anything, is to enjoy it. And don't put that kind of, I think one thing that I've noticed recently from a lot of youngsters, especially because of social media, we're all comparing ourselves to everyone else.
Putting a lot of pressure on themselves.
You turn your phone on, slide onto Instagram, and you'll see 500 of the strongest people on the planet. The problem with that is it makes you feel really rubbish.
Inferior in comparison.
Sometimes I feel rubbish and I'm like, pretty strong.
We can't all be Brad Castleberry, can we?
That's true.
Who's this? Thank you, Forzel UBS. Not capable of heavy weights, but I have lighter implements to do events as my way of keep fit, because it's the most fun. People think you need to be 300 pounds to train, but small guys can have just as much fun.
100%. I totally agree with you. I actually, with a lot of when I was working in a gym, doing a lot of like hands-on coaching, I train just normal, people, and they love doing the Strongman events as just conditioning. So you kind of strip the weights right down, but focus on using them as conditioning tools. Yeah. They're great fun. And suddenly, people weren't thinking about doing boring cardio. It was kind of like Strongman medleys and stuff like that, fun. Making a circuit out of things, and it just made it fun.
Strongman can be for everyone anyway. Anyone 100%. Who wants to just lift weights and get fit.
That's the great thing about now seeing more Strongman gyms, seeing equipment that is specialized for Strongman, but you can strip the weights right down and it'd be loadable. Yeah. So, my mum could come into the gym and she could have a go on like 20 kilo farmers walks,
Yeah.
and then we could load it up for me. I can do 150 kilo farmers walks. It was, you know, that's the great thing with it. It's accessible to anyone now. It's becoming more and more accessible.
Yeah.
And hopefully it keeps growing. More people get involved. CrossFit uses some strongman implements now, which is good. But yeah, you do not need to be 300 pounds to have fun doing strongman events.
And you can do strongman without even having to think about competing. Like, you don't have to be a competitive strongman.
Exactly. This is another thing. Like, and I've got a few clients, they've got no real interest in competing, but they love training. And I really like working with them. And all it is about getting them better, not necessarily getting them to be the world's strongest man.
Yeah.
You know, like I said earlier, genetics are a huge factor.
Yeah.
You know, people can talk about everything from, you know, food, the dreaded gear that people kind of go on and stuff like that. You know, we can go into all those kind of subjects, but having the genetics for this sport is so important. And if you don't have the right genetics, you might never get to the level that you want to. And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to take.
But that applies to any sport as well. Like, you look at the absolute top footballers in the world, you can be coached by the very best. It doesn't mean you're going to be that person. Look at the best bodybuilders.
But like you said, it doesn't mean you can't go and play Sunday League football and really enjoy it.
Exactly. It doesn't mean it can't be an enjoyable and big part of your life.
Sorry.
We're
Are there any Greek strongmen? There's a Clint Darden who's in Cyprus. So, and he's very, very good. I don't know of mainland Greece, if I'm totally honest. But yeah, Clint is in Cyprus. So yeah, he's a good strongman. What's that first? You guys asking lots of questions.
It moves faster than we can read.
Our eyesight is not good enough, is it?
The problem is the zoom on this camera is far too much that we have to put the laptop way back so it's not right in our face. Hold on, let's go down a little bit. There we go. Please do another World's Strongest Man comp. The way the events are now really favour your strength.
I don't know. People keep saying the strongman events keep changing at Worlds. Like I said, that it goes in cycles. You'll find strongman events tend to go in cycles. So you can find 1 year, you know, it really favors you, and you decide not to go. The next year you can get there. The events can be completely different again.
Here's a good question. Who's stronger, Liz or your mum?
Oh, my mum.
Don't underestimate mum.
Mum would wipe the floor with her.
But she loves me, so she
does. She'd look after you.
She would.
Liz, what did Harry call you today? Useless.
He said I used to be useless. Yeah.
He said you're less useless now.
Yeah, he said I'm getting much fitter.
You are.
Harry was very complimentary. Don't twist his words.
We had a training session with my brother today. It'll actually be up tomorrow.
Yeah, that video.
So you'll be able to watch it tomorrow.
It was unintentionally hilarious. We did
make sure you watch
drills and conditioning.
It wasn't really a strength session, but it was funny.
Which is good for me.
Yeah.
Who do you think has the best chance of podium at Worlds? Next from the USA, I like Evan's chances.
I like Evan's chances.
Evan's a good choice.
Yeah.
Jerry Pritchett, obviously, as well.
So close. There's so many good guys. There really is.
Brian Shaw, obviously.
Well, Brian's already podiumed enough times. So
new people. Bobby Thompson, maybe?
Bobby, Trey Mitchell.
Evan.
Yeah. Kevin Ferris
has been amazing recently. He's really upped his game these last couple of years.
I think
Rob Kearney. Possibly.
Yeah, Rob's coming back for.
Yeah.
He's come back quick.
He has.
Rob Kearney. Quick. But like he said,
a lot of criticism for
Rob Kearney's saying, you know, he's coming back to the competition in Bahrain, but the only overhead is the dumbbell, and he can use his other hand. So he's confident on that. He's got no other events that are going to tax the tricep too much. So as long as he's feeling good, you know, he knows his body. He's not going to be stupid.
There's no pressure on him to do this competition. So, you know, he's a grown man. I'm sure he's made the right choice.
Richard Wild, thank you very much for the super chat. Good exercises, I guess you mean for or with sandbags. There's lots you can do with sandbags. One of the things I like doing is just shouldering a sandbag. Real great conditioning workout. Loading with them, carrying them. Goblet squats with a sandbag is really good. But yeah, there's just use your imagination, try and change things up. But you can do quite a few interesting variations with a sandbag.
All those sort of awkward pickups are really good crossover.
I love them for kind of goblet squats. You squeeze in like a bear hug squeeze on the sandbag and then doing goblet squats. That's a real full body taxing movement.
Sounds horrible. Thank you. What's that say? Lamath.
Yeah.
Speaking of genetics, what do you think of Harry Stoltman's progress? Also, thank you so much for the amazing content and the cat.
Thank you so much.
I must admit, I haven't really been keeping an eye on what the Stoltmans are doing lately, just because we've been so busy. Am I right in thinking he hasn't competed in Strongman?
I don't believe he's competed at all. And
do you know any of his lifting numbers?
I think
someone tell us in the comments. Tell us now.
I think there was a video he was doing like around a 90-kilo log.
Okay.
You know, with Tom and Luke around him, he has potential to be great and obviously good genetics. But let's remember, it took Tom and Luke 10 years to get to the level that they're at. These boys have been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
My brother's got good genetics. He did strongman for a little bit, but he's nowhere near like
what
pro
you got
level.
to, yeah.
I don't even know if Harry has goals of becoming an elite level strongman. It's going to take a long time.
Yeah,
okay, don't expect anything to happen overnight. But obviously, being a brother of those two, he's got some great mentors next to him.
Yeah, definitely. Trust Liz to think it sounds horrible. I think everything training related sounds horrible.
You're going to love the video tomorrow.
Oh, God.
I can't wait for them to see that.
I was laughing. Editing it is just ridiculous, honestly. Harry's way away from competition. Yeah, you had a question on your Instagram when we announced this live, and someone said, do you think we'll see all three Stoltmans on a podium?
Oh, no chance.
No, just because when you think about how long it takes someone to get into the prime, even if Harry really wants to do that, and he does get to that level, Tom and Luke aren't still, like the chances of them still being at that level are quite slim. It's just, you know.
Tom's genetics for strongman are incredible. Tom could be around if he wants to.
Yes. And if he really looks after his body
but
as well.
It's a very, very big if. Strongman is brutal. I really thought Thor would stay around, but he's kind of focusing on other things because it takes so much out of your body. To lift the numbers that are being lifted now is not safe.
No.
When you look at the elite level. And I don't think we're going to see too many guys having a Zydrunas career that kind of spans 15, 20 years. I think careers are going to get shorter, if I'm totally honest with you.
Sad. Who do you think is the strongest man ever, Liz and Loz?
That's a great question.
There's so many ways to look at it as well. I always think Zydrunas, but I think as time goes on, you start to see the numbers going up and up. You think, how long can I keep saying Zydrunas? Like,
it depends how you measure strength. Yeah. You know, some people will say the best weightlifter is the strongest guy. Some people say the best powerlifter is. Some people will say the strongman. You know, there's too many
there's pound
arguments.
for pound and all of that kind of stuff. It's really difficult.
It's a very difficult kind of subject. I might do a video on who I think the strongest guys ever are. You know, there's guys like Paul Anderson. For those that don't know, old-time strongman. He was Olympic champion, powerlifting champion, set ridiculous squat records. But it's such a hard one because we're trying to compare different generations as well. But it's a fun thing. I'd need to really sit down and think about. I mean,
crunch the numbers.
I say Zydrunas is the greatest strongman of all time. But then can you compare a strongman to other lifters? You know, you can say certain people are the greatest powerlifters, but then you get the argument of whether they're equipped, whether they're raw, whether they're natural, whether they're not.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many arguments to it. I really like weightlifting. I think seeing who can put the most weight overhead is a great test of strength, but there's so many variables when it comes to strength.
Someone questioning us. I think they're questioning us, saying that strongman's getting heavier. Strongman is getting heavier. Like Lars said, it goes through peaks and troughs of being a bit more movement based, and then we'll get like a shorter area of it being really static. But it does overall get heavier. If you look at the Atlas stones as a great example, like they started off the absolute heaviest stone. And this wasn't even, people say like from the very beginning we had Atlas stones. We didn't. It was a few years in they first introduced the Atlas stones.
First time I ever
they were the McGlashan stones.
First time I competed at strongman, World's Strongest Man, 160 kilos was the heaviest stone.
And now it's what, 220?
I don't know if it's quite 220, but I've seen competitions with heavier than 220.
Yeah.
You know, World's Strongest Man is one competition. When I say strongman's getting heavier, I'm saying as a whole, as
a sport.
When you look at every single competition that goes on throughout the year, World's Strongest Man, the log this year was 150 kilos. Last year it was 160 kilos. But you can go back like 5 years before that, it was 140 kilos. And before that, it was 120 kilos. And in the 90s, it was like 105 kilos they were lifting on the log. Trust me, it's getting heavier. The deadlifts are getting heavier. When I started Strongman, an open level competition in England was 260 kilo deadlift. That is novice level now.
Oh, right. But sorry, yeah, like for reps. Yeah.
Like I did like an open level comp. It was 260 kilos. Now a standard weight would be 320.
Yeah.
And you go to an international show, it could be as heavy as 400 for reps. Trust me when I say, you know, it might not be a completely linear graph.
No,
it might go up and down, but it's going up and up
still
consistently.
Going up,
the sport is getting heavier. You've got to remember, I've been doing this shit for 20 years.
And I've been watching it for nearly 10 closely. Michael Williams, thank you, Michael. What's the deal with this grizzly guy that my phone keeps alerting me about?
Oh, grizzly, yeah. I can't remember his name exactly, but he's a big, strong Russian bear, basically. And he does some, he's kind of become...
Is he a bit of a meme?
He's a little bit of a meme, but he's genuinely very, very strong.
Yeah.
He is genuinely very strong. Some of his exercises, the technique he uses are a little bit interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, he's a big, strong dude.
Okay. Derek Wainford. Thank you, Derek. I was just getting into Strongman just before lockdown. I'm training deadlift, squats, and overhead press at home. What other exercises should I do? I think that's a great start, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a great start, to be honest. You know, front squats are a great addition to that, possibly. Power cleans, but you're doing the basics right. If you know, I always tell people, if you've got a barbell, and you can squat, you can bench, you can deadlift, or you can overhead press if you can't bench as well. I mean, overhead press for strongman is more important, but there's some of the best movements you can be doing.
And then doing like variations of those lifts as your assistants work, like Romanian deadlifts and bent over rows.
Check you out.
I know. I like
Coach Liz.
No, well, I just listen to you coach people 24/7, so I know these things. I don't practice them.
Yeah, you know, some of the strongest physiques in the world have been built on a barbell. You know, if you do back squats, front squats, overhead pressing, floor pressing, if you can't bench, you know, bent over rows, you're just going to get stupidly strong. Well, not, you know, but you're going to get
stupidly strong. Look, Coops has gone crazy. Thank you, Coops.
Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to send Coops a complimentary top once they're out.
We've got the new t-shirts coming out very, very soon.
They're at the printers. They should be on the website this coming week. Guys, when can we get back? When we can get back to normality, then please treat the family to ice cream for the summer. Big love, Liz and Loz, Ava, Lewis, Nala, and of course the beautiful big boss that is Alexa. She is the big boss.
She is the boss,
big
definitely.
Love from Coops. Oh, bless you. Thank you
so much.
Kind.
It's really, really kind of you.
We will take photos of our humongous ice cream.
I'm on a diet at the moment. You can't be offering me ice cream.
Yeah.
Although, hopefully I can.
You've lost nearly 10 kilos now, haven't you?
Pretty much. I'm like 0.2 kilos off 10 kilos.
5, and I've been doing it for twice as long. It's so unfair. Thank you,
Adam.
Adam.
Thank you so much for the super chat. I enjoyed your reviews of World's Strongest Man 2020 and the Shaw Classic. Any chance of you doing commentary for either of those shows this year? I think you would be brilliant. Thank you so much. I'd love to work with World's Strongest Man if they were interested. So far, nothing's kind of been spoken about.
No.
Brian and me have spoken about possibly doing some stuff, so there's potential of that. But I am doing all the commentary for the World Ultimate Strongman, and I'm really excited about that. They're great company to work with. I think there's potential to do some work with the Giants Live guys.
Yeah.
Colin, so they're
Colin had an idea, didn't he, about for the live stream? No, I think for the people in the audience, there'd be like a loz in your ear, so they could purchase like a little headset
to get some commentary
and have some sort of expert commentary from you in their ear.
I think
we wouldn't want loz in their ear all night.
We'll see. I'm enjoying the commentary that I'm doing. Enjoy doing the reviews that we do on here.
Yeah.
All we need is some competitions to look forward to. Yeah. That's what we want.
We're not above just refreshing a spreadsheet like the rest of you. We love it. That's a sport in itself. It's 187 centimeters, too short for strongman. No.
Don't even worry about those things. Just if you enjoy it, like we said earlier, if you didn't see earlier, we were talking about doing football as a Sunday league football player. You know, I had Dale McPherson on the other day. The guy was 38 kilos when he started. He's now one of the top under 90 kilo strongmen in the world. And he's moving up to the 105s.
Yeah. And
he's just getting better and better. Put no limits on what you're capable of. Focus on the short-term goals and just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. Let's see. this guy's got the right idea. Liz, if you really want to compare who's doing better, just compare the percentage of body weight loss. Yeah, I think I will do that going forward. I'm become a bit too fixated on the amount of
She's
kilos.
doing amazing, and she's got to remember I'm like triple her size.
Yeah, and you hold triple the muscle mass of me as well. So like I've got just fat to go on, but you burn a lot more calories,
Sure.
Obviously with your size and everything. Liz, world's strongest woman. Never.
Ava or Alexa, perhaps.
Yeah, one of our daughters, but definitely not me. I do not have the genetics to do anything. Eddie Horn talking strongman. Hopefully in the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Don't, because people are going to start saying you hate Eddie.
I don't hate Eddie. I've asked Eddie to come on. Okay. Unfortunately, he's a very busy man, so hopefully at some point he will do. But I don't like to pester them. If people want to come on, great. If they don't, I totally understand it. But
we know how many emails and messages and everything you get, so we imagine Eddie will be
gets
just
a ridiculous 10 times worse. So I appreciate he's an extremely busy guy, but hopefully I'll see him in person. We can have a chat.
People say I look naked. I'm not naked, I promise. I was training earlier. It's just my hair, but I want it down. Oh, bless you. Thank you, Christy Van Dam, is that?
Yes.
Love you guys. Thank you for making my days with your videos. Quick question. Any Albanian or
Kosovo athletes you know?
There
was a very good Albanian a British Albanian, Jimmy Marku, who was Britain's strongest man. He competed at World's Strongest Man. Very, very good strongman. Unfortunately, I haven't seen him for a few years, but yeah, there's definitely some good athletes about. And Jimmy had like the biggest calves. He just naturally had humongous calves. A great presser, great all-round lifter, and a great character as well. So, yeah, he was a cool guy.
Never met Jimmy. I think he was a little bit before we got together.
Yeah, just before.
Any collabs planned? Hopefully.
Yeah.
If we can get to Sacramento, then you and Alan Throw are definitely going to have a little bromance mandate in the gym.
Once the situation for traveling is better, then there will be lots of stuff planned. I mean, I've spoken to some of the arm wrestlers, Michael Todd and Devon Lorette.
Yeah.
They're both interested in doing things. Alan Thrall, I want to obviously hook up with loads of the strongmen. We want to go to Australia. We want to go to the States. Got people and friends lined up that we want to go see. So lots of potential things. We just need traveling to be better.
Yes. Yeah. Because right now getting out of the UK isn't so easy.
You got engaged because I won Europe's Strongest Man 2016.
Because he won.
That's amazing. Ducky Williams, I hope you guys are still happily married. So that's the important bit. Could you do the commentary for the Shaw Classic, Victor E? If Brian wants me to do the commentary, I think he's got a good team right now. But yeah, if the opportunity comes up, then I'm all for it.
In Strongman, I turn on your videos for motivation. It keeps me going. Keep up the great work. Oh, thank you. Will we see Thor at Worlds again? So,
personally, I don't think so.
He did say last year that I don't think he'll come back to Worlds because of the video that was released.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, personally. He said he might do Arnold's. He might do worse, but I don't think he'll come back to Worlds because of the
It's a shame. I really felt that Thor could go on to be he could have gone on to be the greatest of all time. He really was that damn good. Mm-hmm. But all the Thor and Eddie stuff,
all the politics behind it.
Yeah.
I know people think it's literally just hyping up for a match, but there's been a lot of hurt feelings on both sides along the way. So I don't think he will.
I think it's a shame. I really do, because
it's a loss to the sport.
Yeah. Thor was an incredible athlete and just getting better. Yeah. So I'd love to see him back in Strongman, but personally, I don't think it's going to happen.
How heavy was Baby Loz? You weren't that heavy, were you? You were a 7-pounder.
I think I was 7 or 8 pounds, not humongous.
Pipsqueak.
Yeah. You were bigger, weren't you?
No, I was a normal size baby. I was £7.13. The kids I gave birth to were heavy.
Yeah. Well, £7.13. I was about £8.4, I think.
Yeah.
The cat's back.
Lewis was overnight. When Lewis was nearly £10, and Alexa was £8.8, wasn't she?
Yeah.
There we go. How many days a week do you recommend training? 4.
For strength training, I think 4 is adequate. To be honest, 3 is enough. Like, you don't have to train 4, but for me, I like training 4. It just works with my routine. But you certainly don't need to train more than that. But if you enjoy training, it depends on your goals. But 3 to 4 is kind of normal, and you tend to get the best results.
Thank you for the super chat, Michael. Tom McGee, if you're watching, call, text, email, or carrier pigeon Loz now, please.
I'd love to chat to Tom. Tom McGee would be brilliant. Great. But again, another difficult one to get hold of in terms of not really on social media. If anyone knows Tom, message him, tell him to come on. Tell
him Loz is looking for it. Do you know what? One of my favorite World's Strongest Man moments involves Tom McGee, because it's him versus Grizzly Brown on the loading race up that ramp. And Grizzly's just like he's like, I ain't running. It's so funny.
Whereas Tom's quite fit and athletic.
Yeah. Like Tom looks like, bloody Spartan running down. And Grizzly's like patting the tummy, and it's just hilarious. I love those characters.
You like watching the old stuff.
I love the old stuff.
Oh, good stuff. Ducky Williams, still married, and she tolerates your training. Excellent. Get her training as well. You've always tolerated my training. You've supported my training. You're like, get out of the house. I need some space.
Why aren't you at the gym? Oh dear.
Talking Strongman with Larry Wheels. That would be a good one. I'd love to go collab with Larry, actually. I think he's kind of put Strongman on the back burner right now.
Did say he had,
but I am quite heavily into arm wrestling.
So
maybe in the future we can certainly see there's some potentially exciting arm wrestling news coming up that I can't say anything about. But keep your eyes peeled.
Yes, definitely. What's your thoughts on Masters Strongman? And Loz, would you ever compete when you come to age? Because I reckon you will smash it.
Do you know what? Originally, I wasn't a fan of the Masters, because I was like, the best guys
would do the main comp.
Yeah. And then I was just like, I thought the Masters was good for people that hadn't competed at a high level.
Why not that top level?
But now you're getting some brilliant guys doing Masters, and it's become quite competitive.
Yeah.
When you see the evolution of it, it's a challenging comp now.
Yeah, it's suddenly stacked, isn't it? You've got Mikhail Shiblikov and Terry and Nick and Jerry Pritchett.
So I'd be interested in doing that. I'm, believe it or not, still 2 years away. So that's scary, isn't it? But I am thinking of doing a competition later this year. I was planning on making a comeback at England's Strongest Man this year. Then the dates got changed, so I just decided to focus on getting fitter. Like Liz said, I've lost 10 kilos. I plan on losing another 10. Mm-hmm. But I'll, even to losing another 10, I'll still be 140 kilos, so 308 pounds. But that'll be a healthier weight for me. My biggest ever, I was 170 kilos. And I had the struggling breathing and stuff like that. I feel so much fitter right now. I've got a lot more energy. Chasing the kids around is easier. Can't squat as much, can't press as much, but still pretty strong, still pretty athletic. I think I can still make a decent all-round strongman. Probably won't be breaking any records, but I could still enjoy and compete. And so that's kind of like the goal. I want to just enjoy competing, not feel I have to compete anymore. That's the real bonus, I guess.
Definitely. Thank you for the super chat, Foul News. Happy belated birthday to the Brian Shaw poster behind you. Just joking, you guys are awesome. Looking forward. Shall I bring him down? He's just on a hook. He can come and join the chat. Come on, Brian. There he is. Oh no, he'll have to go on the floor now.
You've messed that up now, haven't you?
Oh, no, there he is.
There's Brian with his Europe's Strongest Man trophy.
Such a great strongman, he even won Europe. There we go.
Yeah,
he's waiting.
I was looking at, we were talking about the new website. What's it called?
Oh, strongmanarchives.com.
So strongmanarchives.com. They've got this new website. Make sure you check it out if you're a big strongman fan. It literally lists so many of the results and goes through all the athletes. And I was looking at myself. I was like, I've done all right.
I could check myself out.
Yeah, go and check out Uncle Oz on there. Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, not done too bad. Thank you, Christy Van Dam. You guys, do you guys think you can get Benedict Magnuson on your Talking Strength program? I know he's lost weight, but any news of him on a comeback? It would be great to have Benny on.
I'd love to get Benny on. We can definitely.
Benny is one of the most hilarious people in the world, but he's so inappropriate, isn't he? Like, And
he likes making people feel uncomfortable as well.
He does. It's like a sport to him. But he's not always so great in interviews. I remember the Giants Live crew were like, Benny just gives one-word answers, but Benny does it because it's funny.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
And Benny is a freak of nature.
Yeah.
Such a talented man. Incredible deadlift,
Still
obviously.
Still got the raw deadlift world record all these years later. It's just
the crazy thing with Benny is he'll kind of just mess around, do some BMXing, lose a bit of weight, and then he'll suddenly decide, I want to be strong again.
Yeah.
3-4 months down the line, he's ridiculously strong.
Yeah. So who knows? I think a comeback's always on the cards of Benny.
Oh, thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch. As a Canadian, I'm interested in your thoughts on Louis Cyr. Are any of his lifts still relevant in the sport?
Louis Cyr is an absolute legend in strength. The Louis Cyr trophy for the Arnolds is like obviously based off Louis. It's a cool trophy. You see, like the Jadrinas with his kind of cool. 8 of them or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think lifts will always progress, and that's why I think guys like myself and Brian prefer to win titles than break records. But what that man did kind of paved the way. One of the strongest men of all time, certainly one of the strongest men in history when you look at iconic strength figures. So he would be someone I would add into like a top 10 of all time.
Yeah, across the board. Imagine Strongman at Kids Sports Day. You've been at Kids Sports Day.
I've done tug of war against like a bunch of kids.
Yeah, you did bar bending at Lewis's Sports Day, didn't you? And oh God, didn't you lift the head teacher once at Ava's school and drop him? Or the PE
that wasn't
teacher?
At Ava's school, but it was at a school. I did. Picked up the head teacher and dropped him. The kids cheered.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Yeah. Who's the best? Oh, that's an interesting one. Who has been or who is the number one technician in the sport?
There's a few guys that are very good technicians.
Yuko Ahala?
Well, it depends as well what we're talking about technicians. I mean, you're probably thinking more who thinks of all the tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If we're talking lifting technique, Koklaev's technique in terms of lifts was extremely good. Adam Bishop's technique is very, very good on a lot of lifts. Martins Lissis, technically a very, very sound and efficient lifter. But when you start kind of thinking like who really thinks about events and kind of plans what things well, Brian Shaw is one of the best planners and, methodical in terms of what he has to do. There's a guy called Dave Osland. He was extremely good in that department.
Wasn't he?
And I'd say Juho Ahola and Magnus Firm Magnuson, again, 2 guys that really thought about what they had to do to get the most out of their performances.
Yeah. This is something that quite a lot of people have been talking about. It's an interesting topic. Julius Maddox, do we think he could break the log lift world record?
I'm not convinced that he could.
Do you think it would be the clean that might be the
not even the clean? I think standing up and pressing overhead is very different to lying on the floor or lying on a bench and benching. And sometimes people that are amazing bench pressers, what happens is you lose mobility to put your arms overhead. So you develop the front delt so much that it pulls your arms forward. A good example of this in Strongman is Nick Best.
Okay.
Nick Best was a great bench presser, but he developed his front delt so much that they kind of pulled forward. And if you watch Nick, he struggles to lock out overhead.
Arms out,
and you often see this with really, really good, like big, powerful bench pressers. Even Thor was starting to do it towards the end of his career. He's like focusing on his bench a lot, and you could see his mobility overhead wasn't so good.
Interesting.
So I'm not saying he couldn't, but he certainly wouldn't just come and do it.
No, of course not.
And this isn't knocking Julius by any means. What he did the other day, breaking the world record, absolutely mind-blowing, possibly going to be the first man to bench press 800 pounds. I think he's best off focusing on that.
Yeah,
I don't think it would be smart for him to move to strongman.
I think guys like Hicksy and Luke and other contenders for the world record are so far ahead of him in terms of technique and preparation that I think he's such a specialist.
Bench is it's an amazing exercise, but being a great bencher doesn't mean you're going to be a great log lifter.
No.
And I'm not saying he's going to be rubbish by any means. He's certainly not. He'll come in and beat a lot of strongmen. But to say he's going to beat the best strongmen, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It would take an awful lot of training, and I'm not sure he would invest the time into it.
No.
You find almost, because it's not a hugely different movement, but it is different.
Yeah.
It often
must be
causes
different muscle
injuries
groups.
if you're not used to doing it, where he's so used to that line for bench pressing. I don't think it would be smart for him to try.
No, I agree with you.
How good was Magnus Verm Magnusson? He was extremely good. He was a 4 times World's Strongest Man winner.
He must have been pretty good.
He was pretty damn good. And he was smart and a great competitor as well. He just knew how to raise his game when it was time to compete.
Yeah.
There's guys that would lift more in the gym, but when it came to competition, he would perform. And, 4 times World's Strongest Man, that's not a fluke.
No.
You can't,
no.
You can win one competition, but to win 4 World's Strongest Man as well as the other major titles that he won, Magnus Ver is without question one of the best of all time.
Yeah, he was up against some great guys in that era as well, wasn't he? Some really strong guys.
Do I have goals outside of strongman? Yeah. I always set myself goals, don't I? I've got like business goals that I'm focused on. Goals for us. There's other fitness-based goals, like I'm trying to get in better shape at the moment. So I'm not talking too much about it, but I'm very motivated right now. And I'm not trying to do like a quick transformation. I'm trying to do a permanent transformation.
Yeah.
So it's steadily bringing the weight down, focusing very much on getting myself fitter. But yeah, I always have goals and I'll get more goals. I'm not very good if I don't have a target.
You need to be working towards things, or he's miserable.
Yeah, very much focused on different goals.
Thank you, Adam, for the super chat. Who do you feel will be the next great American and British strongmen? In my opinion, Trey and Tom. Next, I think they already are.
Yeah, I would say those guys are kind of there now. It's
especially Tom.
Yeah, Tom just come second at World's Strongest Man.
Yeah,
he's been on the podium. I think Tom still hasn't won an international, but I think it's a matter of time. And I think this year we're going to see that change.
It's incredible that they haven't, like Luke or Tom. They've won Scotland's Strongest Man, haven't they?
Yeah, but neither of them won Britain's yet.
No,
but like I said, I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Tom has potential to be a multiple winner of major events.
Yeah,
I think Luke has proved with his second place at worst what he's capable of, but Tom is potentially the next Thor. In my opinion, he is on that level. Trey's a great all-round strongman. I wouldn't put Trey on the Thor level though.
No, and Trey's much newer to the sport as well.
Yeah, he's not been around as long as Tom. To be fair, he doesn't have the physique of Tom.
No,
and this is a major factor, and I think we're seeing it even with maybe Kiliashkovsky. The bigger physique can handle strongman for longer. You look at Brian Shaw, long career, big man.
Yeah.
Thor did a lot of, how many times was he on the podium before he won? Big man. Zydrunas, that man's thickness in his joints and stuff like that. Trey is a little bit more normal sized.
Yeah.
And that's not saying Trey isn't capable of winning huge titles, just like we saw with Novikov winning huge titles. I don't expect Novikov to have a 15-year career in strongman.
No.
I think we're going to see him for a good few years now, but I don't expect to see Trey in his Novikov in his late 30s and 40s still competing at this level.
No.
It's a tough sport, and you see so many of the smaller frame guys don't manage to last as long as the bigger frame guys.
They become a bit more injury prone as they go, don't they? Let's see, let's start winning. Do you think we'll ever have anyone come back on the scene and start winning immediately, like Magnus and Ahola? How amazing and exciting would that be to see someone come in now in this area, you're shaking your head, and win their first World's Strongest Man? I agree with you. I don't think we will, because it's
so much harder now.
Yeah.
Because the pool of great athletes, is so much bigger.
Yeah.
There's just so many more competitions. You see people more often.
Yeah.
So I think it would be. I mean, it's not impossible that someone would win on their first, but they certainly wouldn't not be known.
No, I don't think it would be an unknown, but on their first attempt.
It's definitely possible. I mean, Novikov won on his second.
I think as well. now all of the guys do very strongman specific training. It's not like back in those days when they might not have had the kit or they had very limited kit. So now everyone is so, do you know what I mean? Everyone brings their best game. It would be very hard because World Strongest Man is such a tough competition to deal with as an athlete. Obviously, I've not competed, but I've been there, lived and breathed it with you.
I like that you talk as if you've competed.
I feel like I have. It's mentally tough at Worlds. It's such a draining, emotional competition. Maybe just for me.
Yes, someone's saying both Ahola and Magnus Fur were well known, but that's very true. They were.
Yeah, they were.
Magnus Fur had competed in a number of comps with the likes of Sigmarsson.
Yeah, he was doing very well, wasn't
he? But Ahola had a very short career, to be fair. I mean, he wasn't around for long before he was winning major shows, and then he won Worlds, was second at Worlds, won Worlds, and then retired.
Yeah, incredible career. Thank you for the super chat, Chris Van Dam again. Any chance of Pudzianowski on the show as well? Worlds don't give him the respect he deserves. Bring him in every year, like a ref
again.
Or something.
Pudzianowski's someone I have contacted. Yes. I think language barrier. I mean, he can speak English. He can, but and he sort of replies to my messages with thumbs up and stuff like that. But there's there's no real. You know, I used to talk to Marius when we competed against each other. Got on pretty well with him, but I think he's focused on what he's doing. You know, with some of the guys that I mean, he's got a very big following. They're such busy people, so it's difficult. But yeah, and again, if he was interested, then we'll get him on for sure.
And we don't know it to be fact that Worlds haven't tried to get Marius at any point, do we?
I don't know for fact. Obviously, I don't work for Worlds, so who knows?
No, so it could be that they've tried and they've just also got the thumbs up. Yeah, not much up.
Yeah, you don't know. To be fair, you know, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. There's a lot of rumors that people talk about, but.
I think sometimes we're all guilty of it. Like we love a bit of gossip, don't we? And we get sort of fixated on something, and then we blow up into something much bigger than it probably initially was. Oh, here we go.
You do a few more.
Yeah. Oh, no, they're moving faster than I can read them.
If you slide up, it'll stop moving.
Mark Henry compete with modern athletes. Mark Henry only ever did one strongman competition, didn't he? I mean, it was a bloody big one and he won it. He won the first ever Arnold's. But a lot of people, they have like, you know, when they watch our every winner of World's Strongest Man, they're like, what about Mark Henry? Mark Henry never competed at Worlds. He did one Arnold Strongman Classic, the first one ever, and he won. But if you watch our video, I'll link it in the description, every winner of the Arnold Strongman Classic, we went into the history a bit of how it came about and how Mark Henry got to be invited and the story behind that. And it's quite interesting.
It is an interesting one. Yeah. Mark Henry is a genuine strength freak of nature. Yeah,
and he's competing in
incredible genetics. Yeah, weightlifting, powerlifting, obviously the Arnolds, and then a great career in wrestling as well. He's someone I'd like to do a Talking Strongman with.
Yeah, definitely.
Great story.
You should get in touch with him.
I have.
Thank you, Andy, for the super chat. Do you think that World's Strongest Man could find itself becoming overshadowed if it doesn't adapt to the changing landscape with World Strongman Champions League, Giants Live, etc.?
I think right now World's Strongest Man is still the major show.
Yeah,
it's got such a history, but the sport is growing outside of that now. And I think, how do I say this in the right way?
In a political way. Whisper and I'll say it politically.
No, I do think it needs to change. So, and I've said this openly anyway. I do think it needs to change some things. I think the problem is that World's Strongest Man is a TV show. Like Superstars was a TV show. That's what it came from. It was a TV show. IMG own it, or Endeavor, or they own the rights to it. It's a TV show that they put on once a year, and then they kind of forget about Strongman, and they forget that Strongman goes on the rest of the year.
But the sport really grew from that TV show, didn't it?
Well, the sport came from that.
Know it now.
The sport that we've got a lot to thank World's Strongest Man for, because it's given us the sport and the athletes that we see today. But now we have people wanting to make the sport grow, and it's sad that people aren't working together. That's the kind of I find that quite sad, because it liquidates the sport a little bit in terms of, I've been a world champion in strongman, I won a different title, a different federation's world championships. So I won the Ultimate Strongman World Championships. Still beat some of the guys that were all. I beat Zadrunas in that competition. I beat Janasha. You know, there was actually Eddie was in it, but there was. So I could go around myself like a boxer does and call themselves a world champion. But to me, World's Strongest Man is still the pinnacle. So I don't tend to call myself,
haven't they? The
guys, like a world champion, because that title is seen as the world championships. And I think World's Strongest Man is the show that everyone wants to win. It's got such prestige and history behind it. But there is other shows now. You look at the Arnolds, you look at World Ultimate Strongman, other shows as well, that if you're heavily involved in the sport, we all really respect those as competitions. But I think if you're just a general fan, World's Strongest Man is still the show that people hear about. I mean, it shows with like our reviews. Our World's Strongest Man reviews got the most interest out of any of the, the Brian Shaw video was good, but nowhere near as popular as the World's Strongest Man show. So the general public are still only really interested. And the amount of times people go, "Oh, you're ever going to compete in Strongman again?" And this was while I was competing all the time, because they only ever see one show. They don't see the rest of the competitions that go on throughout the year.
Thanks for the super chat, Michael Williams. It's a letter to Thor. Dear Thor, if you were watching, call Loss up for a sparring partner. He's experienced enough, the right size and strength. He can also insult you with an English accent. He would do it to get out.
Well, I'm a similar height to Eddie, so I guess I'd be a good kind of sparring partner in terms of.
Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Well, if Thor's going to pay me. I'm not going to stand there for nothing. Let him punch me in the face.
That big lump. Someone asked how tall I am. I'm 169 centimeters, which is about 5'7", depending on what measurements you use. So not that short. Same height as Kate Moss, but that's where our similarities end.
The same height as Kate Moss.
Kate Moss, yeah.
There you go.
And she was like considered a short supermodel, but not too short.
No.
So there you go. Guy's pretty massive, other than Kearney, even though Copper's massive for his height.
There's not many tiny strongmen.
No, none of them are. Not the guys that you're seeing at Worlds and Worst and Arnold's. No.
Even the short ones will surprise you when you see them.
And sometimes it's a bit of an optical illusion. Like they might look little because they're next to Brian Shaw, but then you meet them as a normal sized person yourself and suddenly they seem huge. That happens a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, oh God, you're bigger than I thought. You're doing Q&A. You're a legend. Much respect.
Thank you very much.
Very kind. Thank you. What do you think of Payman? And do you think he can break the record? I'm guessing the
Payman is looking strong. We're seeing some impressive numbers for him on his Instagram page, and he's got a lot of confidence in himself.
Yeah,
I think he's was it 470 or something like that?
Yeah,
something ridiculous.
He's pulled like the third heaviest deadlift or fourth heaviest deadlift ever.
Yeah, he's a strong dude.
Yeah.
It's a shame they don't get as many opportunities in some of those, like the Middle Eastern countries. But Payman is legitimately strong.
Look, your mate Dale's here. 3D strength. Strong.
There he is.
Loss makes me feel like a little boy. You love it. Thank you for the super chat, Adam. Do you think Martins Lissis will return to form and win another title, or has he reached his peak and his best is behind him?
I think Martins is more than capable of coming back. I genuinely do. Martins is smart. I think when he decides to compete again, he'll be in shape. I said this earlier.
No one can accuse him of rushing it, can they?
No, he's being smart. He's making sure he's ready. Talking to Martins, he actually doesn't care so much about winning worlds. He wants to win the Arnolds. Yeah. He always said he wants to win an Arnold's and a World's Strongest Man. He's already got the World's Strongest Man title, so I believe the Arnold's is his focus.
Yeah.
And
that's been postponed, so that's good for him.
Yeah, but to say someone's going to win, my answer is always I don't know. There's so many great guys. To win one World's Strongest Man title is an incredible achievement. And 22 men ever have won World's Strongest Man. That's it. It's not an easy thing to do. There's been some great strong men that have never won World's Strongest Man. I'll put myself into that list. I've done some impressive things in strongman. I came 4th. That was the best I ever did at World's Strongest Man.
Bringing the passion.
Yeah. You know, I've got freaky genetics. I'm exceptionally good at this sport. Or I certainly was at one point. It's a hard thing to do to win World's Strongest Man. It's like being Mr. Olympia. Not that many people have done it. You know, to do it once is incredible. To do it 5 times like Marius did, 4 times like Brian and Magnus Ver and Zadrunas, just ridiculous.
Yeah. Question to Liz: have you always been to strongman? You're not just very impressive. No, I haven't. No, I've learned everything since I've been with
a couple more questions, and then we'll didn't realize the time.
What is the time? Oh God, we don't half go on sometimes. You go on. You go on. Well, collab with Brian, help him.
Definitely up for that.
Yeah. Well, we're hoping to do like an almost tour around America, aren't we? When things improve and we can travel, and we will definitely hound as many people as humanly possible. What's your best deadlift, Lars?
My best deadlift ever, 435 kilos, about 960 pounds.
Not bad, not bad. Out of Tom Novikov and Martins and Matthias, I can't say his name. Yeah. Who do you think has the best chance to win 3 or 4 World's Strongest Man titles?
Honest answer?
Tom.
Yeah. Tom has the best chance. Honestly, I don't think any of them will win 3. No. I think they're all so competitive.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. There's so many good guys.
Training session with Eddie. You've done training. You've trained.
Yeah, I've trained with Eddie a couple of times. I'm not boxing at the moment.
No,
he's not doing kind of what I'm doing. So
right now it would be illegal as well. If we should make the sport more popular, regions where oh no, it's gone. I don't know.
Where were you? This one.
Yeah. What should the sport do to become more popular in regions where it isn't, like Africa, Latin America, Spain, Italy?
It's holding competitions is kind of getting people interested in the sport. Yeah. You know, if there's no competitions going on, then no one's going to find it interesting. They're going to go to other sports. I think if you get someone, if you're a strongman in any of those countries, look at putting on a show, look at getting people to see the sport, and eventually you'll get that interest. But you got to start with actually having something happen first. If you're a strongman in those countries, put some exhibitions on, get people seeing what we do.
Yeah, because it's an entertaining sport.
It is. I mean, like I do things in school, so I did like a bar bending thing. It's not really an event that comes up in a strongman comp very often, but it's visually pretty impressive. And you give the bars to the teachers, and they're trying to bend them, they can't bend them, and then as a strongman, you do it, and the kids just are wowed by stuff like that. So, visual things that impress people. Pulling trucks is always good. I pull minibuses with a bunch of kids in. Yeah. It's not actually that hard for a strongman, but they love it, and it gets them involved, and you start getting fans and people watching, and then you can start to grow the sport, looking at competitions. You know, when I started strongman, it wasn't that popular in the UK.
No. Giants Live and done an incredible job in the UK.
I've got to say, guys like Ollie Thompson, Terry Hollands, Mark Felix, they were the guys that really inspired me to do it. And you have to thank guys like Colin Bryce, Darren Sadler, you know,
Glenn Ross.
Glenn as well. I got to say, no matter what anyone thinks of Colin, without that man, strongman would not be anywhere near as popular as it is in the UK.
He kept it going during the sort of mid-noughties.
It was dying out. You know, strongman was being put on obscure TV channels. Yeah. He kept going, and then eventually, you know, the sport started to grow. So I'm always thankful for Colin, but like I know some people argue and stuff, but the guy,
they think he's like the villain of strongman. Colin's not that.
He loves strongman, and he wants to see it grow. So you know, sometimes you got to thank these people as well. You can't always just put them down. Larry Wheels win World's Strongest Man.
I think he's just
no chance. And that's nothing against Larry. Just strongman is a tough sport, and I think he's finding that he's getting some injuries and stuff trying to do it. I think it's hard to try and do everything.
Yeah,
that's the real issue.
Larry doesn't need to win World's Strongest Man. Larry's making an amazing living out of his YouTube video, practicing different sports, collabing with different people.
I think he seems focused on arm wrestling.
Yeah,
I think if he wants to be good at arm wrestling, focus on arm wrestling. It's very difficult to focus on bodybuilding, strongman, powerlifting, and arm wrestling. You end up being a jack of all trades, which is absolutely fine, and you can have a real popular YouTube channel. But unless you're going to pick one of those, you're not really going to be the
will we see a 6-time world strongest man champion in this era of strongman? I think it's going to be incredibly difficult, just because, like you say,
they've all told me they're going to be 6-time champions.
Novikov wants to be,
I think,
Luke Richardson wants to be.
There's a number of them that want to do it, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
When I saw, I'm saying they're not going to do it. There's nothing wrong with them saying they want to do it. And if one of them proves me wrong,
we'll be blown away. Yeah, we'll be like more excited.
You're the man.
Yeah.
But I don't see, just knowing how hard the sport is, knowing in the time frame that I've done World's Strongest Man, how hard that would have to be. When you look at
how long
Eddie Hall won World's Strongest Man once, Thor Bjornsson won World's Strongest Man once.
You think how incredible an athlete and how strong Eddie was, and Thor as well. They won it once.
Sometimes just that one win, it's just like relief, and then you lose that motivation. That's what happened to Eddie. He just wanted one win. And now Thor's got one win and he's lost. He doesn't want to be a 5-time World's Strongest Man. Brian Shaw is the closest we've got at the moment to a 5 or 6-time winner, because he still wants to do it.
Yeah. And he's already managed to get 4 under the belt.
It's going to be extremely hard to get another 4 or 5, certainly 6-time World's Strongest Man winner.
But
2 more questions,
say never.
then
2
we will
more.
leave people, because
pick some good ones.
You can pick them.
Bloody hell.
How was your workout today, Liz? This is a question from me. So this wasn't count. It's from Michael, actually.
It was horrible. It was hilarious, though. Make sure you watch the video tomorrow. Bloody hell, I've commented at least 10 times and haven't got one response. The comment section moves so quickly, and Loz talks for such a long time. It's really difficult. Try again, and we will do our best. Thank you for the super chat, Chris Batter. Oh, super chat, I'm sorry. Do you think Titus Lallis will make a comeback, aka best shoulders in the world?
He's got like the widest shoulders
He
ever.
has to turn sideways to get through a door, doesn't he?
I think Lallis is in kind of my realm now of he might compete again, but I don't think it'll be like with the full focus that he had before. He's kind of focusing on his brothers. He's kind of getting back into arm wrestling, and I think he might compete again, but I don't think he'll try and pursue like winning World's Strongest Man again.
No. The Arnold's win that he got, it kind of and he's another example of, he's got a ridiculous frame, but he's not one of those giants.
He got injured at the Arnold's as well.
Yeah.
Someone that his career kind of suffered because of how heavy the sport is.
Yeah.
Did you say someone asked a question? That,
no, they were saying that
they asked a question, but
10 times, but now I don't know what their name was.
We do appreciate all the questions, guys. We sit here every time we do these things. We're like, what if no one asks a question? So we have like a little list of questions and just ideas of things to talk about, and then I just talk too much.
Like, Lars, you do a dance.
I only dance for you, dear.
Oh. Right, pick some good questions. Is there going to be a Las Vegas before the fight? He mentioned that in your interview, and he updates. Yeah, that is the plan.
That is the plan. So the night before?
Yeah, so it's going to be like a proper strongman extravaganza of a weekend. They're going to have a massive. If
for people that would all being well, if people are interested in flying out there, then it's going to be quite cool if there's a big strongman show going on.
And then the fight the following night. I know not everyone supports the fight, but lots of people will want to go and
Who do you think will win the fight?
Oh, it's impossible to say. It's going to... I don't know, and I don't want to say because I don't want to piss either of those two. I think like Thor has some obvious advantages with his reach and everything else. I mean, I'm no boxing pundit.
I like that you're trying to be.
Thanks. I'll try anything once.
That's why I married you.
Like, I don't think you should ever underestimate the scrappiness of a man from Stoke-on-Trent. So, it could go either way. I don't know. Who do you think will win?
I can't pick a winner.
Yeah, so put me on the spot. Pick my question. I think I was the first one when you went live. Oh, I'm sorry, Jamie. Where is your question? I'm desperately trying to find it.
Ask the question again. Was it Jamie, did you say?
Yeah.
Jamie Cotton.
Do you have a plan on competing in arm wrestling? Sorry, in strongman?
Possibly. Right now, I'm just enjoying training.
Yeah.
I like arm wrestling. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to practice because we've just been in lockdown. But I'd like to put a bit more practice in. Still got a long way. I am a novice in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
There's guys half my size that would just kick my ass. but I enjoy it, and I like that newbie feeling. It's a bit more, because I've done strongman for so long. I still love it, and I'm passionate about strongman, but I've lost that excitement that I had as a new guy that was just trying to learn everything. Whereas with arm wrestling, I'm just trying to watch videos, pick up tips, learn things, and I want to go and practice. So hopefully once I can get out and about and train some more arm wrestling, if I think I get good enough to be able to have a competition, then I might look at it.
Who was the strongest strongman in the gym?
Who's the strongest strongman in the gym?
Yeah, probably Eddie.
Of all time?
Yeah, go all time.
Eddie's gym strength is ridiculous, to be fair. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Eddie's ridiculously strong in the gym.
What's your favorite, Liz? What's your favorite body part of Loz's? His legs, specifically his quads. There you go. If you could appear as a character in a movie, which movie would it be, and which character? It's getting weirder now.
Which character would I be, or you?
Both of us at us. I don't know. Someone who has a happy outcome. I don't know. Message me on Instagram. I'll get back to you. Should we wrap it up? Because
we should, yeah.
I'm going into panic mode now.
It's been fun. It's been a fun Saturday night talking to these guys.
It has.
We've got a few more coming in still.
They're still coming in.
This is beauty and Loz is a beast.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
That's a good, safe one to go for.
Well, Loz says that he's the beauty and I'm the beast. So that's a bit kinder than my own husband, Shrek and Fiona.
I like that.
Hopefully when Fiona's a princess and not an ogre. Don't answer that. Quick, hang up.
Guys, hope you've enjoyed it tonight. We've had great fun.
Yeah.
We'll speak to you guys soon. We'll be back again maybe a couple of weeks, do another one.
Yeah, definitely. And in a couple of weeks, we're hopefully, if we pass
we might
all the
do a
tests
live one
and
from Bahrain.
Yes.
So hopefully we'll be able to bring you some behind the scenes action.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Cool.
Guys, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Take it easy. Never one button.